Mic's off? We're good. Mics are going through whatever. But today's episode of Pick Central is brought to you by Fireball. First of all, that's a sick bottle. No?
It's a beautiful bottle.
That's you bringing that anywhere, it's like, whoa. That is just a cool-ass bottle. And it's also a good bottle just to hold, you know?
Yeah.
Good one. You want to take a swig out of it.
Or the shooters.
There's so many good. I'm not even reading off of it because I love Fireball. Like Fireball was the first drink I think that was like, whoa, this doesn't hurt my mouth. You know, like as alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this is so tasteful. It's
Smooth.
so good. You can mix it with so many different things. I remember one time I had it with something else, and it was like a cinnamon toast crunch shot.
Oh, all right.
Oh my God. It was unbelievable. You can do so much with Fireball. Fireball is one of the best alcohols out there. You know, you bring it to anyone's party. Everyone's like, oh, I don't do shots, but I do Fireball.
Yeah.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
You know, that's what honestly, that's what their slogan should be. I don't do shots, but I do Fireball. Because that's what everyone says. Football season's the best time of the year, but inevitably you see us find some way to get it ruined, whether that's our team getting beat, as in the Jets and the Giants, losing every bet, that's all of us, or getting crushed in fantasy. Big Ev literally just said he got eliminated in fantasy.
Yeah, I've got the E next to my name, just eliminated.
So did they just start doing that? Because that upset me when I saw.
There's 4 of us out of 12. We're just out.
So if you're Big Ev, go get your Fireball. Fireball is here to help you say F it and keep football season as incredible as it should be. That's why it's the number one shot in the U.S. and takes any event to the next level, especially the SEC championship where Alabama will beat Georgia. Ignite your fandom with an ice-cold shot of Fireball and join Old Row at their tailgate in Atlanta to kick off the SEC championship game with Fireball December 2nd. So go do all of that. It's fucking awesome, Fireball. I don't know how much more I could tell you, but it's the best drink out there. And shout out to them for sponsoring Pick Central. Because we love anyone that does that.
Presenting, baby.
Presenting.
Fireball.
Look at us. We're presenters. I am joined by Big Ev and Clemmer today. We want to do we haven't done like a full show of calls in a while. Meek is back there and will be answering the phones. We'll put the number up whenever they get a second. But yeah, call in. To start off the show, though, we got really good college basketball tonight. But to start off the show, I just wrote a blog about this. Remember when Tyreek Hill did a flip with the phone? He filmed himself with the phone?
Yeah.
I saw a video with some kid's phone or something.
So that kid, the backstory is that kid would work for Tyreek Hill, right? But the NFL ended up hiring him because he was really good, and he's I've seen his videos. It's very it's honestly kind of impressive. His videos are very good. He's creative. The NFL fired him for giving the phone to Tyreek Hill. The NFL is the fucking worst. It truly is the no fun league. Tyreek Hill even tweeted, he's like, I would love to comment on it, but I'm gonna get fined, and I've gotten fined too much already. Like, why all the kid's doing is trying to make younger people watch the NFL. That's what it is. Like for TikTok, he does a bunch of stuff for TikTok, and you see a guy do a backflip. I've never done a backflip. That's the closest I'll ever get to doing a backflip. Right. Is the POV of that. Why would you fire him?
Because we have too many old losers running like every.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
how do you not see?
It's in every part of just
country
like
top down. Yeah.
Just old dumbasses that think they're smart and they're fucking idiots running everything and they're ruining everything.
Just because people have experience doesn't mean they know the best.
No,
that's what I want people to realize. Just because you worked at a place for 40 years doesn't mean you know everything. You can definitely learn some things from people if you are not an asshole. But the NFL, Roger Goodell, how do you get a call from? I'm sure it wasn't like his exact call. It could be, but how do you see this happening in your organization? Being like, we're gonna fire this kid who handed a phone to Tyreek Hill to do a backflip. What in what world? I can't even think of something of why you'd fire him. I can't even be devil's advocate for the NFL. I've truly tried.
You should have got a promotion.
Yeah, no, exactly.
What?
That's like I just should have a promotion. That's just creative, like innovative.
Creative
thinking, a way to get.
Because remember when it happened? It was people were fucking going nuts. They were like, "Oh wow, look at this POV of a backflip." It's something that's never really happened. Like, I just don't get why you fire the kid.
You know who would do the same thing? Major League Baseball would do the same kind of thing. But you know who wouldn't is the NBA. I think.
They won it.
They wouldn't.
Gets it.
I actually think that Adam Silver is the best commissioner.
He is right now. He definitely is right now.
Well,
he actually does what like the fans and the players. Well, we could argue maybe the
in-tournament. The in-season tournament, I don't think is a very good idea.
But,
I think it's great.
I think it's, but
I think that's one. I was gonna say I was getting ready to talk about that. I think it's been a hit. I think it's one of the biggest fuck yous to everybody.
I just don't understand it.
It's honestly very simple.
I don't think it's been like a hindrance at all.
No, it hasn't been a negative, I guess.
He's getting people to talk about it. He's getting people to talk about the first 20 games of the NBA season. The fact that we're having a dialogue.
No one ever does.
In November?
Yes, Dukes is completely right.
I do have one complaint though about the in-season tournament because the Knicks will end up playing the Bucks 5 times and and the Sixers will end up playing the Wizards 5 times as opposed to a normal 4. So that's an extra game where it could swing a potential seeding.
Yeah.
I'd also like to say this really quick about it is two teams will play one extra game, so there's definitely flaws to the in-games tournament. But think about even the MLB playoffs. We're still debating, do they have the format right? So the fact that they might not have the in-season tournament correct this year, I think it's been largely a huge success.
Your point in the beginning was exactly what it is. No one has ever talked about the NBA right now because the football, it's always on the back burner. Like they'll talk about it, but it's not just like you have people even like Clemmer, like I don't get it, but still kind of interested, Like, and that's not you. I'm not even making fun of you. Like I get it now. I read up on it, and it's like it's kind of simple. But like last night, you have the Celtics hacking Drummond. Last night,
right?
Because they mattered.
Up 32.
Up 32 because it mattered, like for something of the in-game tournament. Like
it was
the Knicks,
like a margin. They had to win the game by 23. Missoula had to literally explain to Billy Donovan, "I'm not just a total asshole. Right. I'm doing this for a specific reason."
The Knicks.
Is that good for the game?
Yes, because they care today. They care about the game in fucking November instead of like, oh, whatever, it's just against the Bulls tonight. Yeah. Like the Knicks also, they were minus 11.5 last night, I think. I took them because they had to win by over 20 or something.
They did. They won by 24.
They won by 24. So like that's also something like the Knicks were playing really hard up 15 in the fourth quarter. Like
they normally wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Well, Marty, our coach is Tom Thibodeau. Our starters are staying in the whole game.
That is true. That's fair.
Also, I talked myself into this with like a team like the Celtics. I think that it shows locker room camaraderie if Jason Tatum's like, we want to get Jordan Walsh paid. Like $500,000 for the last guy on your bench builds locker room culture.
A lot of money.
I actually don't care what you say. It's a lot of money for Jason Tatum, and he might even give it to someone. But $500,000.
Dinwiddie said it. Dinwiddie said it. Who I'm pretty sure he's like a $20 million a year guy. He was like $500,000. He's like that's like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, dude.
You don't think I want a Rolls Royce?
Yeah, like, and that's why anyone, because poor people always are like. Poor people will be the ones to say.
Poor people love to count rich people's pockets.
Yes, they'll be the ones to say.
We love to count rich people's pockets.
Why do they need 500,000 more? Well, they're in the NBA, so they can.
I mean, 500,000 is you're putting a couple kids through college on 500,000.
100,000, they ain't getting up for.
So
500,
and the loser. So if you just made the tournament, it's $50K. Like it's the quarter. So that's obviously I'm a Knicks guy. The Knicks are in it. So obviously it's like the final 8 right now. We play the Bucks, obviously a tough draw in Milwaukee, but even if we were to lose the Bucks, everyone team still gets $50K.
That 12th guy on the bench, 11th guy on the bench, $50K.
Yeah, I mean it's money's money.
Something.
Man. So
hopefully it gets taxed in Milwaukee.
I think it
will.
I don't know how it works in the NBA. I know in the
There's hope for them.
I know in the NFL it works like that.
They'll be getting
like where you play the game is where the taxes.
Joey B gets them the 20.
Want to play those games in Florida then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to play the Heat.
Producer's note.
Too, right?
Texas.
Is someone in the chat said the guy from TikTok didn't get fired, but he's not getting paid anymore.
That's
getting
fired, right?
Fired. What?
He's still like working the games.
So he's volunteering.
Or you could make the argument it's probably more fucked up.
I think it's
almost worse.
Yeah, it's making him work for free.
They were just
not paying him anymore.
Yeah,
What?
they just wanted me to make the point. So.
No, that's a good point.
I don't
It's
really
almost
understand.
that makes it worse, to be honest.
If I was that kid, I'd be like, fuck you.
I'm pretty sure I know he started working for Tyreek Hill, and that's how he's got into all these, and I think that's probably how the connection happened.
He's
take my phone.
He's like 1 month trial Ethan.
Yeah, exactly.
Gave that to him and he just stayed.
Yeah, that one of the more.
But he also just didn't do literally anything.
There was nothing better when he was like, "I'll do anything, Big Cat, like anything you need." It
was like a Christmas break.
Christmas break. I'll do whatever you need. I'll work all the time. Not one blog. Not one thing the entire time. It was almost impressive that he was like, fuck it, I don't care.
My favorite 1 month trial Ethan story is when they did the yak case race and he came into the office. He's like, oh yeah, if you guys need me to do the yak case race anytime, I'm always around. It's like, oh really? You want to drink a case of beer with the funniest guys? Like, sure. Yeah. Just get online, buddy. He's so funny.
Yeah. So again, call in today. We're gonna. Any NFL questions, we'll do college football playoff because that's what I want to talk about first. And I don't want to talk about this too much, but this Josh Giddey situation is getting weirder and weirder that he just keeps playing. And also the alleged, I'm saying alleged, underage girl and family is not cooperating with the authorities. So,
Interesting.
Just in my mind, I could be completely wrong. It's just maybe she said she was a different age to him, but I don't. That's me speculating. It's a serious situation because no matter what, fucking check an ID. Don't just because Josh Giddey's what 20.
Probably right. Yeah, he came in young.
He's
probably
21.
21. It's not good. Believe me, it's bad. That's the worst thing you should do. It's just a weird situation. It's just weird that he's playing. And OKC gave him a standing ovation when he came back. That was crazy.
That's very weird.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And you don't know everything, and I don't like speculating on things because you really don't know the story. You don't know what happened. They're not commenting on it. They're not commenting on it. Nobody's commenting on it. It's like the Bedard situation happening of Corey Perry and him. I don't know. The sports are so fucking weird right now. There's so many weird stories happening because I don't know what's going on.
And with OKC, they're the 2 seed right now in the West.
Yeah.
They're having a hell of a start to the season. I would like to think the report was that they the Thunder did some due diligence on and they felt comfortable with them playing. That's just what I read.
It's a weird situation.
Andrew Bogut knew about it Andrew Bogut said that they knew about it for the past year.
Interesting.
So he's been probably upfront about it. It's probably I don't know. Again,
He is that.
Where did you go, Dukes?
No.
I was going to say, while we're on the topic of people getting standing ovation for doing something, remember when Jim Boeheim
oh, believe me.
got a standing ovation? I think Hubs was in the crowd that day giving him that standing ovation.
The music's on for the show. Just letting everyone know. That's why I love the show.
The control board is
There, you go.
got a little messed up.
All good. No, all good. Yeah, no, Jim Boeheim, I bring it up every time. He killed a guy. Everyone give him a standing ovation. But yeah, call in to the show. Let's just get our guy real quick. Dakuchi from Toronto, because Phil will always spell it Kikuchi, but still, Dakuchi, what's up?
He's a good pitcher.
How you guys doing, guys? Thanks for having me on as always. I know no one in the studio right now is a big soccer guy, but we got Champions League soccer getting kicked off in about an hour and 30 minutes, and I like PSV on the money line to get it done against the Spanish side, Sevilla. But basically, the long and short of it is Sevilla's overperformed their expected goals numbers for about 15 months now. Over the past 4 weeks, they've really come back down to earth. They've regressed to the mean. They've struggled scoring, and their defense is just very porous. Meanwhile, PSV has won 13 games in a row in their domestic league. Their attacking football is kind of giving teams trouble, and I think that they should be actually favored on the road here against Sevilla. So again, plus 165 feels like a good number. I know you guys won't have much to add, so I'll just hang up and listen. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, listen, Dakuchi's sharp, and I'm not going to sit here like I know what the fuck he just said about soccer, but I would take it because it's a day
You're looking
game.
for midday action. There it is.
Yeah, he's sharp, so I would trust him. All right, so again, call in. It's 888-STOOL-22. It's 888-STOOL-22. college football playoff. It was Ohio State is sixth, ranked
Correct.
sixth right now. It is definitely tough to not play the next game, them not playing. But if Texas loses, if Florida State loses, which Florida State I think is losing, Texas is the one that is a little nerve-wracking, and Georgia wins, you're in.
100%.
100%.
I think even I was making the argument on Twitter, which people were getting mad about, but then go fuck themselves. I don't really care. That they left the door open. I think I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not even saying it's likely to happen. All I'm saying is I think they left the door open for the committee to have the option to put in Ohio State over Texas, even if Texas wins. I think they left that door open. Do I think it's likely? No, I really don't. People are getting mad at me
So
for
Texas is
even
7.
speculating. They're 7. And obviously they have a game to play. My argument was, and obviously I'm playing a devil's advocate kind of for myself, obviously, in my own interest, but I'm basically making an argument, does a like close win over Oklahoma State move the needle that much? I understand you're winning the conference. I get that. But they've often made that kind of like a wishy-washy thing, whether they kind of like make it a big deal, but it's also like has in the past like not been a huge deal. So, I mean, they really obviously beating Bama is big, but especially if Bama loses to Georgia, that win loses even more luster a little bit. So I'm just putting out, I'm just saying, hey, like I think they've just left that option open for themselves, because if they put Ohio State behind them now, then if Texas wins, there's no option. Like you can't just move them ahead if they just won a game and Ohio State was sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
So that was the only point I was trying to make. People were getting furious about it. I don't really care, but I'm just saying.
You're saying if it's a close game, you think there's a chance Ohio State
maybe
sneak in.
Maybe
Texas is a huge favorite. It's minus 600 money line.
Yeah, they're like 14.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Because Oklahoma State has not looked that great either. The last few weeks, they honestly should have lost to BYU last week. They got very lucky that they were able to get the game to OT and then won it in OT against BYU, who's not that good. I just think they gave themselves the opportunity if they want like to revisit it next week.
Listen, they did a look ahead thing of like what the 12-team playoff would be.
Yeah.
And people it's crazy. People are still complaining about having more teams in the playoff because then they were like, oh, Michigan-Ohio State game doesn't matter as much. It shouldn't matter. Like, it's awesome. I think it is awesome how much it matters. But losing one game usually shouldn't make you not be in like a playoff scenario, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine being a college football fan and knowing like, oh, if I lose one game,
this guy lost one game,
he's
itching to try and get back. It's like,
and at least
I'm getting abused. Like I'm like a rat trying to like backdoor, and I'm like, we lost one game to the number 2 team that we were literally driving to win the game at the very end. We lost by 1 score. Like it was a coin flip game that we lost.
What if you lose in week 3 of the season? Like then your whole season's over.
Well,
That sucks.
but in college football, that usually is better.
it's better.
To lose early, because you can come back. Whereas like when you lose late, it's like
Even this year?
yeah. I mean, think about Bama. I mean, they lost to Texas in week like 2 or whatever it was. I think it was week 2, and then now if they beat Georgia, they're in.
Yep.
Bama's in no matter what.
What hurts the Big Ten too in Ohio State is that having the divisions, and the problem is the East has like literally the 3 best teams are all on one side. So like next year, for example, it's going to change with the Big Ten next year once we add all these old Pac-12 teams. Like next year in this same scenario, we would just play Michigan again. Like it'd just be a rematch because that still was our only conference loss. So we still would be like the number 2 seed in the Big East, or excuse me, in the Big Ten. So it would just be like running it back.
I was listening to like the head of the committee last night. I don't know why, but I was interested in it, and I was listening to him, and he was like, they asked about Florida State, and they're like, obviously Jordan Travis isn't playing. What does the committee look at? He goes, listen, it is a different team. We are looking at it completely different. Like we're looking at it as everybody else, that this backup quarterback is not the same team as it is when Jordan Travis is playing. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I expect them to say they're undefeated, like no matter what, you play who you play. I was like, oh, okay, so they're looking at it a little different. Is there any chance they don't put them in? If they beat Louisville by a last-second field goal?
I find it hard to keep him out.
I do too.
Because then what you can say with the new quarterback is that, you still put in the new quarterback. You beat Florida on the road, and then you beat Louisville, who's like ranked like I think 11th.
Yeah.
So they're still or something or what is 13, 14?
Yeah.
I've heard they just lost to Kentucky. That's right. But
All right, so let's go through a couple.
they're gonna be like, you just beat your rival on the road, which even though it was a rat cover, they won by like double digits or whatever it was, like 10 or whatever it was, and then beat Louisville with the backup. Because the one thing with the precedent they've set in the past is, even though it's a little different, because with Ohio State did it. I mean, our quarterback JT got hurt. They put in Cardell, but also they won the Big Ten championship game by 55 points. So they showed like we're just still just as dominant, and then they end up looking smart. We go on and win the national title. So, I mean, I don't see I don't see Florida State doing that. But I almost, even though it kind of hurts Ohio State, I'm just being honest. I do think they should give the backup a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Where he was making his first start, he didn't look great in the first half. He played, I thought, very well, honestly, in the second half against Florida. So you got to give him a little bit of time to like get his feet wet. Like he's obviously just coming in a weird situation. Like if he goes and plays a good game against Louisville, they beat Louisville.
What's the spread on that game?
2.5. Florida State's minus 2.5.
Oh yeah, Louisville's gonna win that game.
I think so too. I know a lot of like sharps and heavy hitters jumped on Louisville early when it was like 3.5, and like steamed it down.
Yeah. So let's go to. We're gonna do this tomorrow, probably with Brad. So like, I'm not gonna go too. Let's not go too crazy, but a couple scenarios. Alabama wins. Texas wins. Florida State wins. Michigan obviously wins. That's your 4, right?
That's the most like
and Oregon and Oregon wins.
Because then someone's gonna get left out.
This is why I was saying I think Oregon gets out, but in a way I can kind of be like see them playing like Oregon's better than Florida State.
They are better.
They are better. It's not even.
I think they're better than Texas too. I
think they're better than Texas. I think they're better than Alabama. I think they're very close with Michigan and Georgia. I really do. I truly think that this team is very, very good. I want them in the playoff, not just for selfish reasons. I just truly think they're one of the best teams. As fans, everyone's rooting for Florida State to lose. That's just a fact.
We just want it to be seamless. Like you just want the four most deserving 4 best teams in. I mean,
I do, but sometimes don't.
Also,
sometimes I love when it's
the
chaos.
committee left the door open a little bit too. I thought like the guy made some comments, kind of being like, it's not always just like 4. They are trying to put like the 4 best teams.
Yeah,
I think he was also hinting at Florida State on that as well, kind of thing. Where I agree with you. I do think they kind of left the door open a little bit. That if they won like an overtime game or something, or won like a 3-point game, that maybe they could keep them out. I think it'd be really hard to. But
let me ask you a question: do these odds on the show you anything about the top 4? Because Bama is like their fate is in their hands. It has nothing to do with the committee. It's because if they beat Georgia, they're in. That's just a fact. But Oregon at 5-1, does that show you that they will put them in over Florida State?
I think what these odds are more based on like the championship game odds. Like for example, the reason Michigan's the favorite right now is because they're a 23-point favorite and Georgia's like a 5-point favorite.
Yeah.
Where like if they both win, Georgia will be the favorite after. So they just have a significantly tougher game this week.
These odds, whoa.
Yeah, these odds are kind of like Oregon's minus
odds say more than me.
300. Florida State is minus 135 to make it. Like I know that because their spread is 2 and Oregon's 11.
Like they're only like minus like 140, 150 to even win the game.
Was it minus 9?
Oregon's minus 9.5.
9.5.
I think this told me.
And Texas is plus money to get in.
Yeah, no, so Florida State is, I mean, you kind of have to. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Like, they're undefeated. Like, how do you not put – it's also not Cincinnati, like, who's undefeated.
I was saying this is on Healthy Debate yesterday. If there was going to be a year where I've talked about, like, the precedence of ACC undefeated champion, backup quarterback. Obviously, Ohio State, Cardell Jones, they smacked Wisconsin 59-0 in the Big Ten championship. But if there was going to be a year that they fucked over a team like Florida State, undefeated, Power 5 champion, it would be this year because the 12-team playoff comes next year. So, like, it does not matter. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Florida State fans would be up in arms.
It's just crazy,
rightfully so, in my opinion.
Rightfully so.
Did Cincinnati make it?
They did.
Yeah.
Cincinnati made it.
They were undefeated.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying.
But
Florida State's a Power 5
They had
team.
good wins though.
But Florida State kind of does too.
Oh, for sure. No, I totally agree with you.
Like, that's where it's like, it would be insane.
Well, like the problem with Florida State is their losses their like good wins have aged poorly now. Because they beat like
LSU is a good win.
I think they beat LSU, who like lost like 3 games. They beat Clemson, who has lost like 4 games. So a lot of their like big wins early in the season have faded, like Notre Dame.
But if you go back to like when Clemson was in that like their powerhouse, like sometimes their wins were like nothing. Like
No, it's fair.
Duke wasn't good back then.
They were getting like the benefit of the doubt because they were just winning national titles and like playing for national titles.
Yeah.
So like teams like that, like Georgia, like right now, like Georgia's in that spot where, like I think there's definitely a strong scenario where they could lose and still get in. If some things, because that's
what I wanted to ask.
That would be the real wrench. I think that would be the real wrench if because Bama went, because then it'd be like Michigan 1, Bama 2 probably. I'd say Oregon 3 if it holds, and then like I think Georgia would only have 1 loss to be in that game. I think at that point you could put Georgia in over Texas. You could put Georgia in over potentially Florida State even with a loss. That would get hairy. That would get very hairy.
Bama beating them would get, and I really do. I swear.
It's like how do you not put in the back-to-back national champions? Say like they lose to Bama on like a last-second field goal or something. They lost 1 game all year, and that's the title game by like a point, or say whatever it is, like a couple points.
Yeah, no.
It'd be tough to keep them out and not let them try to go for the 3-peat because I think they still would be like I still would think they're the best team or like right there.
You think? What do you guys think I should do? My 30-1 bet. Think I should put like $500? Or like $300 or something, 400 on Georgia, or just fuck it, ride it out.
I think you should take Alabama with the points.
I want to. That's what I want to do.
So give yourself the out that like if they lose and cover maybe.
You know how I am. I'm like you. I want to.
I'm not like I'm the type like if I was holding that ticket, I'm not betting.
I can't bet
If Georgia was like a dog, I'd do it.
This is
But
too
not
confusing.
as a 5.5 point favorite.
Marty, let it ride. Just let it ride.
I think
That's what I'm saying. Either let it ride or like take Bama with the
I'm gonna
points.
take Bama with the points. I think so because I take futures to literally be right. I don't
How much
honestly.
are you gonna win if this cashes?
$3,000.
Yeah, I'm so against hedging.
Me too. Unless it's like $100,000.
I just think it has to be like I said, if Bama was the favorite, that's like the perfect.
Yes.
That's when you hedge.
Would your
Yeah.
would your
If you
life,
could take Georgia plus money on the money line, but obviously that's not the case.
would your
but-
life drastically change tomorrow with the money that you would win?
No.
Then let it ride.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good rule.
I think if it's 100 grand, I'm
Oh yeah, that's different.
Well, that's
That's
life
50
changing.
grand.
Oh, your life would change.
I'm heading. $3 grand
like
is
whatever.
like it's
It's a nice
obviously
hit out.
Could
Amazing.
you go to catch steak and not worry about the bill if you win? Yes. All right. Then let it
Dude,
ride.
so funny you just said that. I just talk about catch steak. I'm craving it. It's so goddamn good, man. They have a shot now that has hot and cold espresso martini
Wow.
in the same shot. It's hot on the top, cold on the bottom. It's fucking unbelievable.
I was wondering, Ed, I have a question for you. So, Ohio State right now is plus 1,500 to make the playoffs. So it's
Correct.
15-1. So, like, that to me seems like a wild reach. Are you kind of looking at it the same way where, like, we have, a chance, but it's so slim? It's
Well, I mean, a lot has to happen. Like realistically, I'm not like I said. I don't think it's likely they'd put us in over Texas if Texas won. I just said them putting them at 6 leaves them that option open.
so like a 7% chance, 15-1.
Like I don't think it's
think that's fair?
That's what I think. Yeah, it's probably about right because we need Georgia has to win, Florida State has to lose, and realistically Texas probably has to lose, and they're a huge favorite.
So in your heart of heart, you know your season's over.
Probably no. That's what I think people were misconstruing in my tweets. I
Yeah.
was more saying like they're just leaving the door open
Right.
for it. I was
You're saying,
I wasn't saying like they're gonna just put them in over Texas if Texas wins.
you lose to Michigan, you're like, it's over. But then you see something happen, you're like, so you're saying there's a chance.
I thought
That's what it is.
they'd be behind Texas. Like I just thought they would put them 7 or 8, and it would just be like over. But then they put them at 6, and now they're playing on my heartstrings. Just like they're just like
'Cause they
it's
know-
like tickling the
Right.
bottom of my ball sack, just like a little bit, just a little
committee-
bit. Then I'm like, ooh, like what's that down there?
I actually think
maybe
it was
there's like a.
very easy for the committee for right now. Like what
It honestly was
happened-
probably smart to do.
smart because you have them there. You know, because they know if they could put Bama at 8 because they know if they win,
They're
they can
playing
put them
number
in.
one. Yeah, you beat number one, like you got it.
So they know they could put them wherever they want. They know that they could put Texas at 7 in front of Bama because they beat them, so no one freaks out.
Yep.
And then if Texas wins, they'll put them in.
Most likely,
So it's
for sure.
easy for them to do this, where it's like, and put Oregon at 5 because then they can put them. That's where it gets a little scary. Oregon's the crazy person right now. We don't know we don't know what's going to happen with them.
But they're
Because-
5 though.
I know, but I'm saying that
See,
if
to me at this point, I don't think the Pac-12 even matters. Like just the winners just in, losers out. Like done.
I don't
Like,
know.
I think the only Oregon.
Bama wins.
That's the only like crazy thing would be if like everyone won and then Oregon's and like or Bama won, Florida State won, Texas wins, and then Oregon's kind of just sitting there. But even them, I you know, if that happens, now I'm at the point where I think they potentially leave Florida State out
So what about this?
because Oregon's just been like that dominant.
What about this? Georgia wins, Michigan wins.
Pac-12 winners 3.
Texas wins, and then who am I missing?
Pac-12.
So that would just be the 4 there, right
Yeah,
there.
Pac-12 winner.
So the only thing that gets weird is if Alabama wins
Yeah,
and Florida State loses.
yeah. Or like you said, Texas. If Texas somehow lost,
Yeah, but I think if Texas, yeah. So that's the thing. If Bama, Texas,
well, because Texas losing and like Bama winning, then that's where we would get fucked. Because I think Georgia would go in over
Do you think
Georgia
that
would go in over Ohio State.
Washington has. It's kind of funny. We're doing the same thing with like TCU. Kind of like TCU went undefeated in Big 12 and like
They
talking about-
lost the Big 12 title game.
Yeah, they
Their
did.
circumstance was different because they lost and still got in where like Washington can't do
They
that.
can't. But I'm saying like everyone has written off Washington completely.
Kind of.
They really have. No one's like
Even
the spread shows.
I
it.
admittedly have. I mean, I'm gonna bet Oregon.
Oh, I'm hammering Oregon.
I'm gonna bet
I love
Oregon
them so
laying
much.
9.5.
9.5 against a team that they lost to already is kind of crazy.
It's a big number.
They're just better. Like I don't. It's almost gonna.
They are.
Even if they lose this game, I still would be like, I know
Yes.
they're a better football team.
100%.
I want to defend Ev for a second. So people are giving Ev shit for like still. All right, I got a 7% chance. So I'm just saying this chance. That's being a sports fan. Like I know if I'm a fan of a baseball team,
100.
and you go into the last weekend, and I need my team to win all 3 and the other team to lose all 3, whatever it is, then I'm still have hope. Hope is what makes a sports fan fun. You have all off season to be in misery. Give Ev one more week.
No.
Well, also you have to remember
I
too.
don't agree with that.
But you also have to remember. It's one, I'm not quitting on my guys, and two, you got to remember, this is a team last year who lost like in worse fashion to Michigan last year, and then literally was a made field goal from winning the national title last year. We would have smacked TCU if we.
I don't agree with.
Smacked them.
I think everyone's right in the situation. I think that Ev should be like this, but I also think people should be shitting on him as well
Should get him for what?
for having hope when they're.
Why? If you don't have hope as a sports fan, you're not. Then,
No, but that's why. But
not doing
also,
it right.
sports fans, why should I be like, oh, I hope Ev's team gets in it when
No.
I'm an Alabama fan? I'm an Alabama fan, like, or I'm a Michigan fan.
Oh,
Like,
then-
oh, you're a loser.
I
think both is fair.
I think that's fair. That's true.
know,
We're
like-
doing the same thing.
like
if Michigan fans were doing it,
no, that's fair.
Michigan kind of just
Yeah.
has the rock right now, so they can say whatever they want, I guess. But
I think you can make fun of Ohio State for not being a good football team. I don't think it's fair to make fun of Ev for having hope.
no, I think
Every sports fan.
I think it's like,
Also
oh,
this
look at. I'd be like, if I was a Michigan fan, like, oh, look at poor Ohio State thinking they could still get in after we beat them. Like that's like
That's
what fandom
fine.
is. Yeah.
That's fine. But shitting on individual fans for having hope, I think is bullshit.
No, yeah. If you're just an outsider and you're like, oh, well, just give it up. Like, no.
well, it was mostly people just being like, bro, like you have no chance. Like if Texas wins, like they're gonna put them in over you.
Yeah,
which I
most
like
likely,
made,
yeah.
which I thought I made clear. I was like, I find that highly likely. I'm just saying,
course
there's like
you
a little chance that maybe they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to fuck Texas. Maybe Texas. Maybe their I don't know. Maybe their quarterback gets hurt in the
You never know. Like,
in the Big 12 title game. I don't know. I'm just saying I'm just saying there's Jim Carrey, whatever. Like there's a chance.
Yeah.
You're saying there's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
chance.
it's
Like
Dumb and
that's
Dumber, yeah.
that's all I'm really saying. Like
you're
that's
not
all
coming in here saying Ohio State's definitely getting in.
I think it's
That would be
it's
insane.
highly more likely they're not going to get in, no matter what happens. Realistically,
Let's take some of these calls here. Tom, what's going on, Tom?
How's it going, guys? You got me?
Yep. What's up?
Hey, first time, long time. Been listening to you guys for a while. First time calling in. Listen, I was calling this the Bosco parlay because he's been talking about it so much, but I might as well call it the Mush and Big F parlay at this point. So I was looking at this. Is there a way that we get the SEC fucked for the last year of the 4-team playoff? A parlay of Washington to win, Texas to win, Alabama to win, Florida State to win, and Michigan to win is plus 1950. So in this situation, we're getting 3 undefeated conference champions and Texas, who obviously has the win over Bama. I think in that situation, you'd have to leave Bama out. Let's put our money where our mouth is.
You know what's crazy? I still don't think they would.
No, because you want to know what would happen? They would fuck Florida State.
They'd fuck Florida State.
That's what I think they would do.
They love the SEC.
Whether I agree with it or not is another thing. My opinion is that they would fuck Florida State.
Has the SEC winner never been in the college football playoff?
I'm pretty sure they've always been in it.
Yeah, I think there's always. I like your thinking, like the fuck the SEC, like everyone, but like
he's not. I saw someone else say that. I was going obviously looking at all these Twitter scenarios of college football playoff. He's not the first person I've heard say that like throughout that scenario. But
the only problem with it is I just cannot see Washington winning. I can't. I like the rest of the parlay.
Yeah.
So if you bump it down to Washington with the points, it goes to plus 950.
That's still a great parlay.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, obviously Texas. You would think Texas and there's a few tough ones. Obviously, Bama winning is their dogs. But yeah, I mean.
So another hypothetical I was just thinking of as well. What if we get 4 undefeated conference champions in Texas? Then who gets left out? Because Texas would have the best win of them all. Well, I guess
So you're saying Georgia, Washington,
Michigan, Washington, Florida State all win. They're all undefeated conference champions, and then Texas
and
with one loss.
Texas.
They're in.
Who's in?
It's all 4 of them.
Texas is out.
Texas is out. I think you have to.
That's another one where I think they could maybe fuck Florida State. I think it would depend the way Florida State won the game.
More people would watch.
If Florida State wins by 2 touchdowns, you can't keep them out.
I could see them sitting here being like, "Hey, more people would watch Texas than Florida State here."
That's one. I think that would truly come down to the fashion Florida State won that game in.
Yeah, that's also true.
If they dominate, you cannot keep them out. If they win by Contair, then maybe you're sitting there having the committee's like going back and forth with Florida State and Texas. Because I mean, the Bama win on the road would be a much better one than any win Florida State had.
Yeah,
but obviously they lost also.
One last thing before I hang up. No Jim Boeheim slander will be tolerated here. It was not murder. You could maybe say manslaughter. Maybe.
Fair.
You know what?
All right.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, Tom. Appreciate the call. Yeah, if you don't, I'm okay with manslaughter.
Hell of a game they played last night too. He looks kind of good. They look decent.
They have a lot of raw talent with some good transfers that can shoot the ball. Like I don't think they're going to be like national champions, but I think that they are a good team.
You want to know who I think is a good team? Ole Miss.
Got a good coach.
Chris Beard. That's when those were like things went south for him, and then he kind of just fell in Ole Miss's lap, like where he would never have coached.
Ole Miss is kind of like taking Lane Kiffin, taking. They're
on the up.
Beard,
they're on the come up. Like
Ole Miss is becoming like a very good.
If it was next year, like Ole Miss would be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, they'd be 11.
They'd be 11 right now, and I think they'd probably stay. They'd stay 11. I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because that was the only bet I made last night, and they won pretty easily, and they look good. They look really good, and I think NC State's like a solid team, and they just ran him out the building.
Let's take our guy Papa Shot. What's going on, Papa Shot?
Hey, Marty, how you doing, buddy?
How we doing?
Listen, Marty, I got one up on you so far. You know that, right?
You do. Arizona did kind of go into Cameron and take care of business.
Yeah, Marty, I'm really excited about this year. I'm not going to get crazy because I always get a letdown, but I'm really excited this year. There's a good 15 teams that can win this tournament.
I actually completely agree. College basketball right now, with this COVID year, has made teams so good and older and more experienced, and like there's not just the blue bloods that are very good. There's so many good teams in college basketball. I agree. Like Kentucky's so much back.
Yeah, Kentucky, and UConn. UConn's looking real good too.
UConn looks great. Marquette, like these conferences are amazing right now. And you're right, Arizona, you should be excited. I think Caleb Love's sucks, but hey, that's just my opinion.
Marty, listen, I've been watching this team for a long time. They have what they didn't have in a long time is toughness. They have fucking toughness with these new guys.
I love that. No, I listen. Since I'm not gonna have to play them again until a tournament, they're good. They're very.
You ain't
good.
gonna have to worry about that. You're not gonna have to worry about that. Listen, next Saturday, they playing in Indianapolis. They're playing Purdue next Saturday.
That's gonna be a great game. It's just
a great big the Bello too.
Yeah, it's just
Giddey, that's a great big guy
which is a great big guy matchup, and it's just whoever's taller, I guess, in that situation. But I think I actually give. I'm on Arizona there. I like Arizona over Purdue.
We have another 7-foot guy that didn't play against Duke. He was hurt, so hopefully we'll get him back soon too.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of bang up Edey. It's if you can get some body on him a little bit, because if you're in the 6 foot range, he'll dominate you. No matter, like 6'10", 6'11", whatever you are in the 6 foot. 7-footers can give him a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, Marty, is my invitation still available?
Yeah, of course. I made the bet, right? Well, the bet was that you can come on a show, right?
I know. Big Ev, I'm hurting for you, Big Ev. I was rooting for you.
I know. I miss you. It was a tough one. We I hope a few balls bounce our way. Maybe Texas loses, and I hope we get another shot, because I mean that was a close game. I was talking to Taylor last night. I was like, I'll run that back on a neutral field in a heartbeat. Yeah, all
right. And thanks for talking to you guys. I'm coming up soon. I'm gonna get on there.
Of course, yeah. Your invitation, you did beat Duke, so you're completely. We will welcome you on anytime you want. Appreciate you.
All right, I'll wait till after.
I don't know if I did that or it was him, but
we love you,
He's
Mike.
our guy. He's our guy. He's a great guy. One of the best Papa Shot guys ever.
Without question.
Let's go to Mark in Philly. Oh, he ended it. I was just going to you, Mark in Philly. Just going to you. Or I might have hung that up.
Oh, Marty, Jesus.
That might have been me.
I said, well, Mark, if you hung it up, call back.
Mark, call back.
Appreciate you.
Phil, if we can get... Oh, well, Phil's going in. Phil's... who knows what he's
Phil
doing.
looks like Charlie Brown right now.
Yeah, he's... I'll tell Phil when he walks in.
Sad Phil. I have a play for tonight.
Phil, can you just... I hung up on Mark in Philly. Can you just put him back on? Thanks. What's up?
I have a play for tonight.
What is it?
LeBron James, under 24.5 points. They're playing in Detroit. When they blow teams out by 20 or more points, he doesn't hit that number of 25. And he played yesterday, back-to-back.
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Let's do a quick before Mark comes on.
14 in a row or something, Chris?
Oh, Mark. What's up, Mark?
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. What's up?
All good. Before I get to my favorite side of the NFL week, as always, you've got to hammer Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. He has 16 rush touchdowns in the last 14 games. He scored in 11 of those 14, 24 rushing touchdowns in the last 21. He scored in 16 of those 21. It was around minus 160 on some books last week. It's plus 103 a week after he scored twice. It doesn't make any sense. For my side, I love the Colts. The line dropped down to a pick-em after the Jonathan Taylor news about him being out-dropped. Zach Moss was doing a damn good job running the ball earlier this year. I also think you're getting a discount with the Titans coming off of a win. Colts have also hit their team total over in 9 of their 11 games for the best record on team totals in the NFL this year. Give me the Colts money line and team total over 21.5.
All right. Again, Mark is usually pretty sharp as well. So
the Colts, they've been one of the sneaky teams that have been playing. They're 6-5. They're in the wild card.
Yeah,
race.
Zach Moss is, like he said, is also just a good running back.
I mean, he was. I said it was like literally the game they signed Jonathan Taylor. They gave him the contract. He ran for like almost 200 yards.
Yeah,
I think the reason the Hurts touchdown is in plus money because they're playing the Niners this week. So I think they're expecting less scoring.
I'm surprised they're home dogs.
49ers are?
No, like the Eagles are.
Eagles are home?
Eagles are home. Plus 3.
Plus 3 at home. I was surprised by that.
Because I think the 49ers are better. I really do.
No, I probably think they are too, but
So does Vegas.
the Eagles have been getting some weird feel, like just even last week, like them being only -3 at home over the Bills. The Bills obviously are talented, but
Bills threw that game more kind of away. I think the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, Bills should have won.
The Eagles' first half.
Bills had a few games that they should have lost. They won.
Eagles' first halves have been really bad. They have not been good.
They've been weird this year because they have like pretty much the same team back.
I know. Real quick, let's talk about a couple of these college basketball games. We'll talk about Duke, Arkansas first. Duke is -4.5 at Arkansas. Bud Walton's a tough place to play. Arkansas is coming off of losing to UNC, losing to Memphis, barely beating Stanford, and also losing to UNCG, I believe. So, and they were a top 10 team coming into a top 12 team coming into the season. They have been struggling as of late. Musselman's one of the best coaches out there. I'm an Arkansas guy. Obviously, I'm going to be betting Duke, but I'm not going to be putting any friendship bets on this one. It's hard going into that. They are on the only thing I'm worried about, Dukes, I don't know if you know this, is Trayvon Mark playing. Trayvon Mark
Game time decision.
Okay, so Trayvon Mark is Arkansas's best player. He in the UNC game, I think it was, he landed very hard on his back, and they like carted him off, but it ended up not being head injury, neck injury. It was good. It was just his back. So it's game time decision, which means no matter what, still not going to be his best. I feel
maybe limited minutes too.
Yeah, you don't know. So
I think the line went down early, which maybe so that might be Evan that he's playing.
Yeah, was that 5.5?
It was like 6. It was always like 6, and then it was like bang 4.5.
Yeah, and Duke hasn't played anyone good since Michigan State, but I still like Duke here. I think their guards are better, and Filipowski hasn't played his best basketball yet, and I don't know. It's a good test for Duke. I'm excited to watch tonight at it's 9:15. I'm not this. I'm nervous about this game. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, let's take them tonight. So, but I'm taking them. I always take them -4.5. I'll take them. UNC Tennessee. I'm on Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to give them some problems. I don't think Baycott's going to be able to get his completely. Tennessee, man, they're the most active hands team in the entire world. I've never seen that. If you go in the middle of the lane, they're tipping the ball every time. Their defense is very good. They turn teams over a lot. I think R.J. Davis is just. I think he's a head case out there. I think he's going to get turned over a lot. He's not going to be able to recover. But what's your feeling on it?
I kind of like. I mean, I think Tennessee's very good, but UNC at home is tough. There's veteran, like you said, Davis, like Baycott. I like Harrison Ingram a lot too. That was a nice pickup for them.
He's a stud.
Stanford.
That's the difference for them.
He's been huge. I watched them play a few times. It's just tough to go into North Carolina and win. So I kind of like North Carolina.
I got to give Marty some credit. So Marty obviously is, he's not very intelligent. He doesn't have a lot to offer, but he is the number one among all of us this month for the picks. He's also been red hot in NFL, if you look at those stats for us internally. So, Marty right now is red hot. So you got to give Marty some props.
Can I tell you what I've been doing? I've been trying to only take things I absolutely love. Trying. And at Big Ev, I know you know how
I'm the worst.
We both do that.
I just want to take everything.
One weekend I was I put out picks and I was about it was 2 weekends ago or 3 weekends, whatever it was. I was about 6-2, I think, and I lost money because I kept taking other things randomly. Just before the game was started, I saw it on TV. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this. I didn't put any thought into it.
Right.
And I said, what am I doing? And last night, I put most of my money on Syracuse because I was like, I know this team's better than LSU. I watched LSU against Dayton.
Oh, horrible.
And I knew
horribly coached.
They're just
sloppy,
not very good.
Can't break the press.
Yes. And I was like, I've watched them. I've watched Syracuse. Syracuse has raw talent. They have this new coach. It seems like it's Boeheim, get the fuck out. He's gone. They won by 4. I said, you know what? Let's try that. Let's do that, and I also want to give Dukes credit because we also knew we were wrong. We said we were wrong about Miami winning yesterday.
Oh, we knew it.
We knew it.
And I didn't play it because I saw it. I was like,
yeah. And
they even were winning.
Yeah, they came back, and then Kentucky's guards
smoked in the second half.
Kentucky's guards are very good. These freshmen are playing very well. to start the season, where a lot of people thought they'd start a little slow. It's a lot of freshmen, whatever. They are shooting the lights out.
I think Kentucky might be like a legit title contender.
They are.
The times I've seen them, they've looked really good.
And then one more
Even
game.
the loss to Kansas, I thought they looked good.
Yes.
I love. Did you guys see Ken Palm going at he's like classic Miami? Basically, I'll try to find the tweet, but he was basically saying that everyone was, when you're a media darling like Miami, no one's ever going to say it's your fault. They're always going to say, like, what a great team Kentucky is.
That's kind of true.
They are a media
But Miami
darling.
is good, though.
They're
not as good as Kentucky, but they're good.
They are elite offensively, which can win you games when you're hot. But when you're not making shots, their defense is not there, and you could get the doors blown off you.
It's 100%.
They're small for sure. They're small.
If they play an okay
That's
game,
why the last few
That's why I
years.
liked Kentucky last night, because like even without like their big guy studs, like Trey Mitchell can hold his own against like they got like No Chad, who's like their big.
That's what I was gonna say, because the problem, like when he's out, they have no size, and he's not even a huge center to begin with.
Yeah, that's why I thought. That's
What is
why
he
I thought
like?
it-
6'8", 6'9"? Like he's
Exactly,
not.
that's-
but they do have 3 7-footers coming back. Like they have it on the bench. They're just hurt.
Okay, because I would say the last few years that they've made these good like tournament runs, they've been small like pretty much every time.
They do have
for the most part.
3 7-footers.
They just had like great guards. Like last year, they just had like having Wong and Nigel Pack and like Jordan Miller. Like they just had they're so elite on offense.
Where'd Wong go?
He was drafted in the first round. I forget.
Did?
He was like went 20s, I think, something like that. I forget.
I want to give a shout out. Jackson State's one of my favorite teams to bet on recently. They have Mo Williams as their coach.
Oh,
Mo
no
Williams
shit.
is their coach.
Yeah,
They're
and
Mo
they've been
Williams.
covering the spread. Like at least I don't know what they are on the season, but I bet on them 3 times this year, and they've won every single time.
One more game before we wrap up. It's the classic home unranked favorites playing a ranked team. Virginia is -2.5 at home against Texas A&M. I want to say, because I was watching Texas A&M against FAU. Texas A&M is good, but I think Duke's, correct me if I'm wrong, Henry Coleman, the guy from Duke,
Yeah.
I believe is still hurt. He was out. He got hurt in that FAU game, and that honestly changed the entire game for Texas A&M. But I'm going Virginia -2.5 tonight. I think that just it's a Virginia at home. Their defense is obviously going to smother them. I think they're 5-1 right now. Yeah, they're 5-1. Their one loss was forget who it was against. But regardless, I'm going Virginia. You have any play on it?
I probably would play Virginia too.
I like Virginia.
I forgot Wong went in the second round. Actually, he's on the Indiana. He's on the Pacers G League team right now.
Virginia had the classic loss to Wisconsin when they scored 41.
That's right. I was on Wisconsin that game actually.
Virginia still only scores about 50 points a game, but they'll win. And lastly, Bosco isn't here, but woo, buddy, I don't think that team's good. Alabama lost again last night to Clemson's actually good. Clemson is good, but at home, Alabama loses to Clemson. That's their second loss. They're not going to be ranked after
Buckeyes
this week.
beat them too.
Yep, Buckeyes beat them. Who's like I don't think Ohio State's
young.
bad, but I don't think that they should be like Alabama is not that team this year. I think that they are not a very good team. Who's their best player? Sears?
No, I'd say
What's his
like,
name?
I'd say like Estrada, Sears, Nelson.
I think Sears would say is their best. Like, I don't know. I think
They have.
Sears.
I don't know. I think that they are top
Probably on
3
paper.
offensive team in the country.
Yeah, but I think isn't their.
They have Miami written all over them.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
say.
could make a run just purely based off the fact if they have 5 games in the tournament where they can't miss. I mean, look at the Ohio State game. Like they scored 81 and they didn't win. I wouldn't say it's bad offense. That's just like they can't stop a nosebleed.
That's what I think that you can make a run to to Elite 8 maybe, and then
Right.
that one
That's
team
why I kept
that.
fading Miami, is because I'm like one of these games they're gonna miss, which
Yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah, no, but yeah, college basketball is in full effect. It's
The
amazing.
ACC SEC tournament's good.
Great. I mean, Duke,
Matchups.
Arkansas is and Tennessee UNC is an unbelievable
This
match.
is like it's really like I mean like conference season is awesome, but like it's just you basically get these like really good out of conference games and then it's just over.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy it while it lasts.
I got one that could tickle your guys' balls.
Please.
Who is it? It's Merrimack versus Georgetown plus 10.5. Georgetown, no matter who they've played this year, has kept it close. They've gone to the wire with American. They lost to Holy Cross. Ed Cooley will figure it out, but I don't think it's this year. Merrimack, coming off the NEC championship last year, couldn't go to the tournament because of like the D1 transition rules. I like them with the points.
I have one more I want to ask you, Dukes. How do you like St. Joe's plus 12.5 against Villanova? St. Joe's, obviously, this is like their Super Bowl. This is like everything to them. In Philly,
they got good guard play. They got Lynn Greer, who was a Dayton transfer. He was like one of those like YouTube highlight guys. You know, his dad was a St. Joe's alum or a Temple alum. I forget which one. It's one of those Philly schools. Legend. So Lynn Greer's a name. They got like Eric Reynolds, another guard who's like an all A10 player. And then they got this freshman. I don't know his name yet, but he's a stud. So I don't really know what to think of this because I think in my head I'm like, oh, St. Joe's kept it close with Kentucky. Villanova just played very well in Atlantis.
Great.
I would lean towards Nova given the fact that they already lost a Big Five Philly game.
Test.
You're
Test.
Pick Central.
Maybe they shouldn't. That's
You have me?
Steve.
No,
Steve,
that's on Pick Central.
That's us.
Right. I would lean.
All right, maybe we should.
Call
Maybe we should.
I got two, and then I got two more that just if you're a real sick fuck. Davidson plus 2.5 against Charlotte. I think Davidson. I think McKillop's one of the best offensive coaches in the country. Runs really good sets, and I like Richmond plus 3.5 over Wichita.
All right, that's our college. This show really is. There's so many things that you're like, how is this happening?
That's a good question.
But I love
it. Don't forget Barstool basketball. We play our playoff game tonight with my center, Marty Mush.
If we have a Steve, way to make your debut on Pick Central. Our Big Ev. How much bullshit is this? We have our semifinal game tonight. It's at 6:30. We win. We'll play our championship game at 8:30.
The double header?
There's a teams that second and third seeds have to play at 7:30, and then if they win, they have to play at 8:30.
I think that's good for you guys.
It's great for us. If we didn't tie,
a little bit of rest at least.
we were either the third seed or out of the playoffs. So we tied this team that we're playing.
How would you say the team's conditioning racks up to the other teams?
Actually,
I think we're pretty good.
I would say because I feel like the guys like Jetski's in good shape, like Mulcahy, like.
Yeah, like even Dana can play a full game.
It's very sweaty.
It gets really sweaty.
Sweaty's fine as long as you can get up and down the court.
Get up and down.
He needs like 5 minutes off, but Mulcahy could play the whole game. Jetski could play the whole game, but Coach does some minutes pretty well. But playoffs is different. We gotta have anyone on the court.
Who on the team is where wins like a problem?
Say it again.
I'm saying like anyone on the team who they 5 hard minutes and you got to get them out.
Really, no one.
No one.
That's good. That's good.
Endurance-wise, we're pretty good, which I'm surprised.
We've had some games where we only had 6 guys in uniform, and they've.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. That's good. Everything in like a men's league, almost that could almost become like half the battle.
Yeah.
But Billy really playing that game in Uganda really for no reason because he scored 0 points fucked us because he was already hurt and
he's injured now, right? He's out.
He's out. We don't want to actually. We were trying to get him to play, but we're like, all right, we don't want to really hurt his ankle.
I talked to him on Monday, and it sounds like his ankle's really fucked up. And I think he's gonna go to Uganda and play on it again. And no, he's gonna. I think if he plays in Uganda, he's gonna need surgery. Like his ankle's fucked.
I don't think it's fucked.
What's that?
I don't think it's fucked. He's playing in Uganda.
But I think if he does that, it's gonna really just he's gonna need surgery. I think afterwards.
He's so embarrassed of putting up 0 against Kenya. I think that he wants to play so bad.
Him yelling. I don't care. I think him yelling at the Kenyan football team is a top 5 Barstool moment in my head.
But he's just. All you heard was Billy's this great quarterback, D3 quarterback, and all of a sudden he can't beat Kenya.
This kid from Williams.
Kenya doesn't even have football. This is the first time they're learning it.
White quarterback from Williams College, coming from a good Northeast school, flying to Africa to teach them how to play, and then being like, "I'm going to play quarterback," and then yelling at them was one of the funniest things
and losing the game.
Yeah,
getting shut out.
Truly, I almost don't know. Either if he wins, it's like a great story, comeback winning. Are they playing Kenya again?
Yeah.
Just run it back.
That's a far flight to play a football
game. He asked me. He's like, they have lacrosse. You want to go? And I'm like, 1, they wouldn't send us for lacrosse, and then 2, I'm not breaking my ankle in a Ugandan lacrosse game.
Yeah.
I am a tiny bit annoyed though, because Billy kept saying, "Oh, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity," and he's just gonna fly back a month later. Remember, he's like, "I need to go to Uganda. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm just going back."
No, Billy, listen, he gave up on the team. It's fine. He doesn't like America. He wants to win for Uganda. Good for him. That's his choice. He hates our basketball team. Gave up on us. Our playoffs are big. This is a big game tonight.
Huge.
I meant to show this a while ago, but this is a 12-team playoff. By the way.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Tulane getting in is funny.
Well, because part of the 12-team thing is that the highest ranked non-Power 5 conference champion will have us automatic bid,
I like that.
which would be Tulane this year as long as they beat SMU in the title game.
So they at least get somebody different in there.
Yeah, so at least like one. So it basically, I really think it's at a point they should just make it like G5, like a G5 championship. But I don't know. They just seem not interested in that.
No Liberty.
Damn.
Undefeated.
Well, Liberty, in theory, if they were ranked higher, they could get in. But also, Tulane's losses to Ole Miss. So that's not like Liberty hasn't played anyone. And Tulane was like in that game with their backup quarterback. They lost to Ole Miss with their starter, and who their quarterback is. Michael Pratt's very good.
Oh, wow. Official. Kirk Minihane has officially retired from the dozen.
Yeah, he said that yesterday on Twitter, but yeah.
No, but it came out that new enemy Allen has called Kirk and the Minute fans racist and psychotic, resulting in Kirk leaving the dozen for good.
Yeah, Allen's one of the guys that writes the questions for the dozen.
What is going on in this company?
Wasn't Allen's like Brandon's like thing that he would just sit in the back of the dozen and like watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also like a real Allen.
That's what happened. He took the real Allen. The real Allen.
It's like a real Allen.
Yeah. What happens in this fucking company?
I mean, he's
this
going
is
to
a
be
trivia tournament.
I mean, Marty, he's going to be playing again. He's going to play a match next week.
This one.
I don't know.
This one's different. This isn't because of like gameplay. This is like.
Well, I guess now also he can like leave. He can leave on the title note.
It's also
He
like
can say like I won back-to-back MVPs. We won.
Now the question is though,
It will Rico.
if Rico plays without him, this is a downfall of Rico again.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see.
Rico needs to put out a statement today.
He's on Pick'em right now. I think he's on. He didn't go, so I don't know where he's at. But
Healthy Debate has Mike the Situation today.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Sick. Yeah.
Is he coming? He's coming in?
Yeah. So I think it's I don't know if it was because of that or.
Regardless, whatever. Yeah, it probably was maybe because of that.
His
I don't
housing
know.
situation.
Yeah, I don't. He was never here on Wednesday, so I don't really care. He's doing what he's got to do, but he needs to put out a statement. But this is where I think I kind of saw a conversation yesterday that it seemed like he was going to play.
Really?
That's alleged, but I did see it. Allegedly.
Was it before or after he knew what happened?
After. But Rico has to make a statement soon. This is it's Skip, like this is the guy he says.
And Rico is aligned with Kirk. Who's to say this Allen isn't going to write questions harder for Rico now? Like that's the issue I think at play. That's why Kirk's like, how can I be in this league if the guy writing questions hates me?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
that actually is such a good point.
If anything, I could get in Allen's pocket for the Ice Dogs. I guess a win.
Wait, that is such a good point. I didn't even consider that.
Get a grease Allen.
Yeah, I could.
I mean,
Allen seems greasable. And
Allen's
apparently.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm a
hashtag Allen rigged and not Jeff D. Lowe. Jeff
D. Lowe. Let me tell you, the past 2 days is having a tough go. From Barstool Survivor and now this. If you're not watching Barstool Surviving Barstool, go watch it. I don't watch Barstool things many times anymore because I see them all the time. I am intently watching this, pretending I don't even know these people, even though I'm friends with all of them. And it's like, not all, but still, I'm friends with most of them. And it's like, I'm watching it. It's like it's incredible. The production is incredible. The gameplay is incredible. The chaos is crazy. It really is a good show. And there was 55,000 people watching it at once yesterday.
The first thing I'm gonna do when I get home tonight from the game is I'm gonna watch Survivor Barstool. And like the crazy thing is like we know what happened, and I'm still glued to my.
Yeah, because we don't know the behind the scenes conversations,
the way they
all
put
that.
It together. That's what I said. Like
The way they put it together is
the way
incredible.
they put it together is so much different than like you
Yes.
watching it happen.
What
in
we
real
knew,
time.
yeah. And no one better spoil it because I'll kill them as well. Dave said that. That's why I'm not barely even talking about it, but it is great. I'm definitely going to watch it as well after Duke.
The first episode, the ending's great. The second episode, the first half is legitimately my jaw dropped 5 times.
Kirk taking the papers from Rob, my jaw dropped. Kirk is the best reality show guy you could probably put in.
And they said, I saw KFC said there was about it was way worse. They cut out like a big part of where he was like just roasting.
Dude, yesterday, Kirk said he will dig up
Jeff's
Jeff's
I was
dad.
like, Jesus Christ.
That's a guy that you listen.
Well, he'll just say literally anything.
Oh, I know.
There's no
listen,
line.
I'm a Kirk guy. I really am. I think I'm a secret. I should even say it more. I'm love Kirk. I actually do. I think
I had no opinion. I
genuinely talked to him for the first time, like in a real conversation, and I liked him a ton. We had a great conversation. He's great for the show. I think Nate and Jeff yelling at each other was fantastic. That was the dog. That was
Yeah, the
Nate
dog was out. The dog was out and loose.
Rico is just an actually like I'm not surprised by anything he does. He stole the toothbrushes because he thought they was like that's insane.
Rico's attempt at trying to justify that was the funniest thing.
But
he's like, oh no, like I only took it because like in case you guys fucked me, but like.
But in his head,
that's how crazy Rico is.
He's right.
He like him justifying like he really thinks it like makes rational sense.
I actually thought it was a very sound argument.
You're so swooped up in Rico's brain. It's a problem.
No, I think it was.
It makes no sense at all.
It was a sound argument.
No, it's not.
Steal everyone's toothbrushes and toothpaste.
No, fucking everybody's fine, but coming back and saying now we have an advantage means nothing.
No. That's where it's not a sound argument. Is him. He should have just like kind of like just sprawled it out and like slowly just.
He should have never said I have them.
Right. He should have been like, all right, well, here's the toothbrushes, like he should just put them down.
Yes, and Tommy's like, well, I did pack my own.
I think people pack their own toothbrush. Yeah,
they was doing that just in case.
It wasn't a very good heist.
The argument was so bad because it was a good heist because like it's funny to steal like everyone's stuff when you lose, but you didn't lose. He was so out of the conversations too that he had no idea what the fuck was happening.
You know what he was also doing was when they were trying to be like, wait, what did you do? Him being like, yeah, no problem. Like, let's just move on. Like, yeah, no problem. It's like, no,
got it.
Him being like, no problem, got it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. And it's like, no, that's like, this is a problem.
Yeah, but yeah, it's such a good show. No other shows finding the games of what's happening, putting vegetable oil on things. It was really, really good. Go watch it tonight, 3rd episode, and then the next 3 will be next week, and then the week after that will be the next 2, and then I think the finale.
Finale's live, I believe.
Yeah, in Chicago. It's going to be great. It's one of the best things we ever put out. Go watch it. Barstool Radio is on now. They're probably talking about it as well, so go listen to that.